As far we are concerned, opposition keeps parroting that there's no check and balances on our bench. As that we are going to remove those check and balances and reporting from the main headquarters. But dear Ajes, we can see from here right now that side opposition keeps parroting and straw manning our cases. First and foremost, call outs. We didn't say that we are going to remove those checks and balances, but rather we're just going to give them autonomy on getting their own funding and their own decisions. Meaning to say they're not going to have to the need to we want new priests that we want to hire the teachers, therefore we need to approval for the central command. That's what we are going to remove, but we are not going to remove the check and balances and still exist on our world. So meaning to say, side opposition's case on check and balances is extremist and is very misrepresentative of our case. We did not include that in our policy. Go check your notes, Chair. So I'll take opposition's framing on this one that this local congregation lacks the money, like what they're going to steal breadcrumbs, but sure, even if there's going to be corruption, it's still going to be better on our end. So I'm still going to be far more charitable on opposition. On opposition, made up on opposition's wanted world, we are not going to be that much of an extremist, but rather we are going to have some concessions. Even if there's going to be lesser checks and balances, it's still going to be better on our world because of these two reasons. Number one, because bureaucratic process still creates corruption, and that's why our POI to deputy leader position is important, is on how they are going to have safety nets on the corruption from the bureaucratic process, on which the status quo also has, which our Prime Minister and Deputy had somewhat extended upon. So why is this going to be important? Because it meaning to say, corruption is not exclusive towards opposition bench, but rather opposition has yet to prove that corruption is easier to be manageable in them, and it's easier to have far more safety nets. And take note, they don't have any safety nets about that. At least on our end, even if still there's POI accepted, it's still going to be worse in your world. Patronage power politics is still going to be your world because practically they're going to far more rely on the central command, which our Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister had expanded and had reclarified from the start, consists of those who have power in clericals, those who have power in businesses, and those who have power in politics. So meaning to say, those decision makings are going to revolve around those powers, which is going to be far more worse on your side because there's going to be far more worse patronage politics because they're going to be incentivized with far more work because they're the main decision makers. At least on our bench, we are going to reduce the patronage politics in the headquarters by ensuring that those who run in those powers are going to have less grab hold, are going to have less hold towards the local congregations. Meaning to say they're not going to need to suck up on the high up year ups in the main headquarters than those who are in power in order to get the equipments or the funding that they needed, even if they needed. So even if there's still going to be, lesser checking cases or lesser reports, at least on our and the opposition's most proximate and most best case, which is still not going to accrue that much because we're not going to remove nor reduce the checking of balance from the head court. At least on our end, we are ensuring that there's no going to be more backlogs and there's going to be lesser power hold from the main headquarters toward those to local congregations. So meaning to say we are practically have far more safety nets because side opposition has yet to prove that the current safety nets for corruption also accrues on their end, which their constructives haven't really stated, and letter B, that the corruption that's happening right now in the bureaucracy of the congregation, which we are going to solve, is still better on the possible corruption of us, which is lesser check and balances, which is also on our end, and the positive case is lesser sucking up to those bureaucrats on the upper power. So next is on the second clash here is where is going to be the congregations going to be better off. So first and foremost, the Methodist Church is about economists. They know that they are extremely disparaged globally, yet their model revolves around a geocentric economic model and political model on a central HQ. And as our Prime Minister had stated that we need the HQ approval, which thousands of miles away from the local congregations. From the preface alone, we are already talking about the second clutch on where the local congregations are going to be better off. The reason is why this clash is going to be important because it talks about the primary marginalized actor on which government and opposition had agreed upon, which is, those local congregations. There are going to be three subclashes here. First is on capability for education and social. Second is on the unity of the church and the clerical of the church. And third is on the physical health. So first and foremost, on the education capability for educational and social. On our end, it's going to be far more better because we do not need to stock up on those, bureaucratic nightmares in order for us to get, the proper approval that we need. Even if we are going to even if there's still on opposition on our bench, there's going to be lesser hold from the main headquarters. At least we are going to remove the economic cost and the time cost of needing to ensure that they're going to have to approve the new painting or the new staff or the new curriculum. Even if in opposition's best case that we stated us that there's going to be less unity and there's going to be lesser hold of the capability of the headquarters, at least on our end, we are still ensuring that the local congregations, especially in the educational sector, the social outreach sector, is going to have a far more easier time in implementing their production and they're implementing their goals in order for them to have a better united community, except in which is absent on opposition's world because they're going to need to suck up on those bureaucrats. Next is on the fiscal health policy. So opposition says that how about on those rural areas? So this is where I'm going to flip their entire case because the economic model of their congregation is most of the economic profits are going to be given back to the main church or the main congregation or the main headquarters. Meaning to say, they're going to give out the profit. So meaning to say they're going to have left out in terms of the cost that they are needed to do. They still have money for the cost and production, but the net incomes is going to be given. Meaning to say there's lesser threshold for those local congregations to expand their economic progress upon. At least on our end, we are going to give lesser funding on those main headquarters which already have economic power, and we are also protecting those provinces and those local congregations so they have far more funding and they can still receive funding from the headquarters. And this is why I end my speech here.